right there. Some of y'all know that. I mean, you want to talk about Mother Nature's land dandruff, baby. You got it? This thing will have you beating the street with your snout, son. This that hitter. Bamboo by the Gramboo. This is that sucra de caño de sucra. You know, you throw this and a drug addict will come back with it in his mouth. You can stay off of cocaine and stay off on that grocaine, baby. You know what I'm saying? This that fucking scary Potter, dog.
Mike from By Dubuque. Trying to be a farmer, but kind of struggling, you know, farm.
Oh, thank you, Michael. And thank you for calling in, man. You know, I used to work on a soybean, corn, and cotton farm over in Natchez, Mississippi. Actually, I worked for the father of the man whose song we heard on the way in. Shine by Bishop Gunn was that song. And his father employed me over there on the banks of the Mississippi. Onward.
Kind of struggling, you know, farming can't pay the bills anymore. Not until you become pretty much a super farmer, farm 1,000 acres instead of 40 acres. My brother, he's already successful, farms 1,500, and he gets to do his dream. And I want to keep the dream too for myself. Trying to juggle it with work. I work 60 hours a week as it is, and try to get time off to farm. And I had to go into a meeting with my boss, and he said he won't allow it. So I don't know if I should dive head first and just start farming and live off ramen, or if I should keep my job. It pays really good. You know, it might not be successful because I'm not all in. It's on the side. And I don't know. If you got any advice on what to do, I'd appreciate it. And if you ever want to do some farming, come up here.
Gang, bro. I'll come up there, dude. I'll grow about 700 acres of cocaine, bro. You know what I'm saying? You feel me, dude? Or that grow cane, you feel me, boy? You know what I'm talking about? That sucracano, papa, that sugar cane. That straight ball, baby. You got it? The James Harden of the garden, son. This shit'll cross you over. This shit'll just have you double dribbling your own ideas, boy. That's that hitter. And I got that from Maui right there. Some of y'all know that. I mean, you want to talk about Mother Nature's land dandruff, baby. You got it? This thing will have you beating the street with your snout, son. This that hitter. Bamboo by the Gramboo. This is that sucra de caño de sucra. You know, you throw this and a drug addict will come back with it in his mouth. You can stay off of cocaine and stay off on that grocaine, baby. You know what I'm saying? This that fucking scary Potter, dog. Petrificus totalis. This dude, look. You saw it looking for me, bruh. You know what I'm saying? I'll suck your stick, bruh. Ooh. You know, that's tasty, man. Oh, that's tasty. And only nature offers that sweet, you know? But yeah, this also can do diabetes to you as well if you have too much of it, you know? This shit'll put the beat in diabetes, dude. This give you that high-o-betes, dog. You know, you be, you know, kind of just, you know, blowing your neighbor for a couple of, you know, for a little bit of that Gramboo. You feel me, gang, bruh? But what I'm saying is, man, don't do drugs. You know, there's safer drugs out there. Now, sugar's just as addictive. I will say it, but you never really seen a dude blowing a guy for a Cinnabon. So you got to think about that, you know, big picture. And only in Maui do they have such a beautiful creature. And other places, actually, Louisiana also has this, Vietnam as well. But only really unique and special spots can offer, you know, can the land just make such a damn drug. And god dang, it's beautiful though when you see sugar in its natural form, isn't it? You don't think about it like this, do you? You don't think every time you bite a cookie that there's a little bit of forest in it, do you? That Mother Nature's just lurking inside of that cookie. And about to get you addicted. And you about to be her little cookie bitch, and that's sugar cane, boy. And girl. Sorry. Whew. That thing gets me fired up, dude. You know, natural sweets get me fired up. But thank you for that opportunity to come over there and farm. I really appreciate that, man. I want to say this, man. You know, there comes a time where it's like, yeah, you have to decide. And you know what? A lot of people don't do what they really want to do. You know, the two things that made me happiest, man, in my life. One time, the happiest day I ever had, actually. I know for this for a fact. The happiest time I ever had. I was working at a disabled children farm in India. And I can't even believe they had this shit. They had children, you know, they were disabled and they got them fucking farming and shit. This shit, it might have been illegal. I don't know. But I went there with a school trip and we were supposed to work there and help out. And we did. And it was amazing, man. And it was one day in my life where I just felt, man, I felt a spirit inside of me that was stronger than just me. I felt something inside of me that was very real, you know, and I think it was connection. It was purpose. You know, it sounds like if your brother's doing farming, then you would always have a way into the industry. So that's nice. And it sounds like you also are just not sure if you want to do it. You said you have a job right now and it's paying well. Let me hear in the beginning if you said you wanted.
From by Dubuque, trying to be a farmer, but kind of struggling. You know, farming can't pay the bills anymore.
Okay, so farming can't pay the bills unless you're part of a super farm, you said. And yeah, it sounds like maybe you just want to be, but you want to make money. And it's tough, man. You know, my brother runs he runs a premier tree service and landscaping service and really almost an environmental service at this point down in Baton Rouge, and it's called Biggs, Biggz. And he started off as a tree cutter. He was a cutter for someone. He'd cutting trees. And he's got some great stories, man. He cut into a beehive once. But then one day he said, why am I working for this guy? I can be this guy that I'm working for. So then he became that guy. And next thing you know, he got the knowledge he needed to go with the job. And he was a foreman. And he was running a couple guys who were climbing trees. And he was then booking the business. And then he went back to school and got a doctorate. So now the dude, you know, he's like a damn, you know, he's the Fibonacci of ferns, bro. I mean, this dude, you know, he's the, who's that guy? You know, doctor, you know, he's the Kevorkian of pines and evergreens, bro. He'll, you know, he knows what he's doing. So then now he has a bigger business and it just, and I say that because you know what I want to be sometimes? Sometimes I just want to work for my brother. There's a big part of my heart that just wants to work for him. I want to ride in a truck and I want to go to the work site and I want to do what he needs me to do. And sometimes I think that would make me really happy. Now, I don't know that's the case. I mean, I also have alcoholism that'll trick your brain into things that will make you happy that won't. But I think it's a real part of me that wants that. And that's fair. That's okay. You know, that's fair there. So sometimes we just have a part, you know, it may just be part of you that wants to farm. It may be something you do later, once you've made enough money to kind of satiate you and make you comfortable. And then you can get into it more. But I will say this, don't live a life, if you can help it, beating yourself up for not being a farmer. I think every man in some way wants to be a farmer. I think every man wants to be a farmer, man. I think all of us want to grow and create, and we're at a tough time in the world right now because we're in between in this time where we had so many natural abilities and things we were doing as men, and then now we don't use those skills as much anymore because they're not as needed. But for a lot of people, they are still needed, and it's beautiful out there in Iowa, dude. Dubuque is beautiful. I ran into a guy who told me he was a pickpocket right over there by the river, bro. Truly beautiful, man. One of my favorite hotels is over there. It's haunted too, as well. But just don't beat yourself up if you're not a farmer right now. You have a lot of time. And who knows, the way things are going, bro, it could be the only job available in a couple of years. You know, it could be the only thing that we're doing. It could be, you know, that'd be great if we're all out there growing together every day, huh? Wouldn't there be something beautiful about it? And don't let anybody make you feel bad if you're not a farmer. You know, that's okay. Maybe you were working in banking or something, and one day you'll create a business with your brother, and you guys can merge the businesses, and then you can do some farming actually, because you'll be loaning to his business or something, or you be able to could do consulting, or you just don't know. You don't know exactly where you're going to end up. But I think that we end up a lot of times, most of us do, somewhere near where our heart and our desires want us to be at some point. I believe that. Because even our desires and what we want are like these ghosts, kind of, aren't they? I can always feel a ghost inside of me, kind of haunting me with things that would make me truly happy, I think. And I'm glad you have a brother, man. That's a beautiful gift. I'm glad you have a brother.